food supper.
Junk 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 food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Welcome to Junk Food Supper, episode number 67. This is the podcast where every week we look at weird and sometimes sensual, foxy boxing type movies. This is one of your hosts, Sean Byron, joined as always by Perky Beantown Bowman up in the, let's call it the 559. What's going on, Bowman?
There's really no debate about. Well, actually, there is a debate about it because
it's going to be changing, right?
Yeah, they're getting that new one. It's splitting apart, so I guess it is debatable whether or not I'm in the 559.
I believe that you are, and I've always had that belief in you.
I have always felt that I was in the 559, even when I lived in Ohio. I was like, there's something real 559 about me, about my attitude. My way of life.
I remember seeing the yearbook, heading under your photo, most likely to 559. I didn't understand it at the time, but now it makes perfect sense.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm doing good. Same old stuff. I was very sick when we recorded last week.
With Jackson Stewart.
With Jackson Stewart, yeah. It was a strange recording because I was getting over the flu, and Jackson was looking out his windows, hoping that the fire was not rolling into his neighborhood. So it was a very odd one, but it was a fun one. But yeah, I'm feeling better now, feeling good. How about you? You've been having adventures. I want to know about you and what's going on with you. You had an adventure. You're down there among the smoke and fires. You got a lot of stuff going on over there.
Yeah, it's been like you said, quite an adventure over the past few weeks. Been traveling, globe trotting, coming back home to a whole mess of chaos here in Los Angeles. But happy to be podcasting with you again. But yeah, we went over to Tokyo, Japan. If you can believe it, I went to Tokyo. Mm-hmm. Something completely out of character for me, and had a good time for Christmas and my birthday and New Year's.
Yeah, happy late birthday!
Oh, thank you very much. I'm now officially even older.
I know that you went and enjoyed a lot of wrestling. What else does one do when they're in Tokyo?
I mean, the main thing for me, the main appeal is just the food. And I don't even say that as a guy that eats any kind of fancy food. I eat exclusively trash food, mostly on street corners outside. My favorite place to eat is a sidewalk. And there's really no better place to do that than Japan, I think. The food is all so cheap and so fresh. And you can get something that's just a greasy pile of meat on a street corner at 3 a.m. and it will be delicious as all hell. I don't know, in a way that food here just doesn't really hit sometimes.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm a big fan of those fishes. I like those sushis and stuff like that. So I feel like I'd also have a good food extravaganza out there.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I know that's not your thing, but those fishes, I like them.
We were doing the, yakitori. We're doing the yakiniku. We're doing a lot of tonkatsu curry. Doing a fair amount of ramen. And it was all super cheap, You're looking at between $5 and $10 per meal for really tasty food.
Man, I can't get that anywhere out here.
I know.
I went to Taco Bell today. It was $78.
There's vending machines on every corner, fully stocked with Monster energy drinks and Coca-Colas. Less than $1.
Man.
When was the last time you paid less than $1 for a Coke? I mean, I think it's $4 or something at 7-Eleven now.
Yeah. I mean, probably 15, 20 years ago, I would think.
Yeah, it's insane. And that's what it is. The prices have stayed exactly the same since the time that I lived there 20 years ago. Meanwhile, the rest of the world has a concept of inflation, but in Japan, I guess that just doesn't exist. So it's still, 120 yen for a bottle of soda.
We gotta get out of California. We gotta go to Japan.
Well, that's the idea that the rest of the world had as well, unfortunately. And so while I was there, and I think just, recently for the past maybe year or so, it's just been like this, but we really noticed it when we were there that every single place that was like a tourist kind of place was just insanely crowded with foreigners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that they're like kind of cracking down on foreigners because a lot of people go there and like, shove the geishas and like shit
Yeah.
all over Mount Fuji and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, was there anything like
temples and things like this?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I saw one of these influencers was like doing chin ups on like some ancient ass Japanese Zen sculpture and got in trouble for it. But like, yeah, was there anything like that? Like anything like any new rules or anything like that you had to deal with?
Well, I mean, I didn't see any like heinous behavior like that, but it is kind of annoying. Like there is kind of like a code of conduct in Japan that I think is now like slipping away because there are so many foreigners there, and it's just like little things like you don't talk on the phone on the train, and like nobody who is Japanese would ever do that. Like they would never pick up the phone and start chatting on the train. But Americans or Europeans, it's a different mindset, I guess, and so that happens now, and it's like, man, this doesn't feel like Japan anymore sometimes when shit like that is happening. And it seems really small, but in aggregate, like all of these small little things do kind of add up to a bummer. So it was kind of annoying to have to like navigate through these hordes of unwashed Westerners, but that's what it is now these days.
Yeah. I was reading something not too long ago where somebody said that it is impolite in Japan to walk while eating. Like out here, like if you're in a big city, you'll pick up like a pretzel or a slice of pizza and walk and eat. Like, but there, that's like very rude. Is that the case in your experience?
I think that's the case. But it's common and very much accepted to stand on the side of the sidewalk and eat, which is something that I do all the time. Like you go into the convenience store, you pick up. If it's the Family Mart chain of convenience stores, you get what's called the Fammy Chickie, which is their little fried chicken breast that comes in a paper sleeve that costs like $1.50 and is like super delicious. And you stand on the sidewalk with that Fammy Chickie and you munch into it with the grease dripping down on your hoodie.
I have never wanted a food so badly as I want a Fammy Chickie.
Oh, they're really... Look up Fammy Chickie, right? It's, F-A-M-I dash, I think, C-H-I-K-I probably. You're going to fall in love with this little guy, this little paper sleeve chicken breast. Might not even be a breast. I think it might be thigh meat, but it's kind of in the shape of a breast cut. Either way, it's juicy, it's delicious. I highly recommend.
It looks pretty delicious. It also, according to one photo here, there's like a little cardboard container that he comes in that looks a lot like the Burger King chicken fries container. So I don't know if maybe if Christopher Olvis should consider other options when it comes to this or not.
You're saying those are his T-shirts.
He's got a right to sell these Fammy Chickies.
Yeah. I think the eating and walking thing is maybe more just about like, I don't think it's so much about like, oh, it's rude in terms of eating as much as it's like, if you're walking, you should be walking. Like when you're walking, let's walk here because we're all trying to walk here.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like they don't want you really looking at your phones when you're walking around because, there's a million people walking and you're going to bump into somebody.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense for such a crowded city for the unspoken rule to be watch where the hell you're going.
There's also like right of way where it's like you stick to the left almost everywhere unless there are signs telling you like stick to the right, which those do come up sometimes. And, you got to fall in line with those as well. So there's a lot of like, pedestrian flow management that goes on, I guess.
That would trip me up. I'm so used to walking on the right that like from like elementary school that I'm sure I would fuck that up a lot.
People will be furious with you for doing it, especially like on the stairs. If you do that on the stairs in a subway station, you might get deported.
Oh no. Well, I'll write it on my hand or something. Stay to the left.
The big thing that changed, since the time that I lived there to now is smoking etiquette, because it used to just be like Japan was smokers' paradise, and it still is, like, in some ways. Like, they still got the cigarette vending machines on every street corner, which is kind of wild to see just out in public. Or you go to a 7-Eleven, and sometimes the cigarettes will be not behind the counter, but just in the front as if they were candy bars,
Yeah.
just completely unprotected. But you can't smoke in public anymore. You can't smoke outdoors anywhere. You can't smoke on a sidewalk. And so you have to rely on these smoking rooms. And they got them most places. Like, almost every train station has got a smoking room. Every hotel is going to have one, like a little weird corner in the basement where they've, set up a closet that 1.5 people can fit in. Or even like the wrestling venues will have like weird glass boxes in the corner of the venue that you can go in and smoke in, which is, convenient to a degree. But the downside is, a lot of times you're trying to squeeze into one of these boxes that's designed for X number of people, and like 5X number of people are actually in the box at the time, all crammed on each other, ashing on each other's like shoulders. And you walk out of one of these things smelling like you smoked like 15 packs of cigarettes. So that's kind of a bummer. And ironically, I spent a lot of my trip worrying that, oh shit, I'm going to get back to LA and all my clothes are going to smell like smoke, not knowing that my entire life would smell like smoke when I got back.
Yeah, true. Yeah. The entire city of LA was inside one of those clear plastic boxes.
Yeah, that's what it seems like now. Walking around, wading through ash, basically. Like, the sidewalks are still covered in ash down here.
That's gross.
It's pretty gross.
Well, what about the shopping? Did you come up with, did you get any good loot? I saw some loot. You posted some pictures in the Discord, and I nearly booked a flight just so that I could meet you where you were and get that Japanese poster for Friday the 13th. I think it was 5.
Yeah. I did pick up a bunch of posters. I'm not willing to disclose yet which posters I picked up. I think you're going to have to wait for my upcoming Discord post. So maybe this is a good time to plug the Discord. Go to the JFD Discord if you want to know what posters I got. Mostly because I can't remember all of the titles. They were primarily Roman porno posters, that mostly have kind of interchangeable titles.
Okay, so you're saying that Japan had a poster blowout while you were there?
They did have a poster blowout when I was there, and I partook. Well, there's a whole part of town called Jimbocho, which is the used book district, and it's all just used bookstores. It's, I think, like the largest used book district in the world out of any city. And the other thing that most of these bookstores have is posters, and a lot of them, if you ask nicely, they'll rummage through the back for the 1970s porno posters that nobody wanted, and they'll sell them to you for real cheap.
That sounds like ideal.
Yeah, I was into it. So I got a bunch of those, and then I got like about 20 t-shirts, various t-shirts, some wrestling shirts, some Roman porno shirts, all kinds of shirts. A War of the Gargantuans shirt.
Nice.
And, little knickknacks here and there, toys, Kitaro toys, Kaibutsu-kun toys, things like this,
I like that Kitaro. Did you find, like when you find Kitaro stuff, is it like the new school stuff? Like, I know that, like, there's like new ones, or is it like can you still find like the old classic looking stuff? I mean, maybe Kitaro hasn't changed too much, but.
Well, there's a mix. I mean, if you go to the gachapon machines, like the the machines where you get the little plastic ball with a random toy in it, those oftentimes you can still find Kitaro stuff, in a bank of those. And then we spend a lot of time at like the used toy stores, that have all the vintage stuff, and you can still find stuff going all the way back to the 60s.
Nice. Have you been to that Kitaro town that has the statue of him?
Not yet. It's kind of remote, but I do want to go there sometime because I think there's some other like yokai type stuff there. So
Yeah.
that would be cool. We did go to the oldest amusement park in Japan, which is it's right in the middle of Tokyo in this part of town called Asakusa, like by right next to the Sensoji Temple. But this theme park was built in like 1850 or something. And it's got the oldest roller coaster in Japan, which they built in 1953. We rode it, and I think primarily I wanted to ride it because it is featured in a number of Roman pornos that shot there. They stole scenes there on the roller coaster, so it was a big moment for me.
That's understandable. I would be, as like a big American fellow, I would just constantly be worried about like breaking the roller coaster by getting in it because the Japanese are a small people.
No, that actually was a big issue. I didn't break the roller coaster so much as I broke my kneecap. She just cranked down the lap bar like right into my knee, when I sat down, and it was a crazy like yoga exercise to try and get myself to fit in between the lap bar. And she knew how to do it because I guess probably I'm not the first white guy to ride this. But she's like, you got to cross your legs and then bend them to the side. And then and I did it. And then sure enough, like the lap bar came down and I was in like the weirdest pretzel pose where I'm like banging my kneecap, on the thing as we're going up and down these 1953 style thrills, which turns out in 2024 still thrilling. Like and mostly because it feels like the whole thing is going to fall apart,
That's understandable. Yeah. I don't know that I've ridden a roller coaster that old. I think the oldest one I've ridden is some of the original Kings Island roller coasters were still there when I was there, and those date back to like the 70s.
I feel like ideally on a roller coaster, there's like kind of like a fluid motion where you kind of feel like you're almost on like waves of water and you're kind of gliding, like it feels like the cart is rolling on top of this, track. Not the case with this guy, this 1953 guy. It had this weird kind of herky-jerky motion where it was like before each drop, it felt like it weirdly accelerated. I don't know if there was like rollers in the track or something that were making that happen. But it felt like right before each drop, it's like, okay, we're going to speed up real quick and jerk around and give you a seizure, and then we're going to drop. So it was kind of a unique experience, I guess.
That sounds fun. What's the name of this roller coaster?
Oh, I wish I knew. I think it's like, it's called Jet Coaster or something dumb like that. It was not a very descriptive name.
Okay.
Nothing cool.
That's a shame. The Japanese are very good at naming things.
Yeah, they might
usually
have. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I read it in the native tongue, it might have been more impressive. But they might have just went for a cheap translation.
Understandable.
Had a good crepe though at the theme park. It was like banana with chocolate sauce.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was nice.
I had a really good crepe in Hollywood one time. I think that was the best crepe I ever had in my whole life.
Was that though at the place that replaced Scooby's hot dogs?
It was
like on Hollywood Boulevard near the Egyptian.
It's near there. It wasn't that place. It was in that mall that's like across the street.
Okay.
But it was good.
For a while, there was a crepe vendor in that spot, and I just couldn't support because even if it wasn't their fault, I'm sure it was not the owner of the creperie who pushed out my beloved hot dog vendor. It still felt kind of like he did, or at least he should have respected the space.
Yeah. I would never patronize somebody who had a hand in Scooby's not being there anymore.
Yeah. Man, the legend of Scooby's. I feel like kids today, they don't even know.
True. That was tasty. That was a tasty hot dog.
Yeah. Had that good snap to it. They had those garlic fries. Oh, man, Scooby's. Trying to think what else happened in Japan. Oh, I watched that debut episode of Raw on Netflix, and it was the most embarrassing 3.5 hours of non-wrestling I've ever seen in my fucking life.
It was very bad. Yeah. I fast forwarded through all of it, but I like actually watched the first half hour. And Mike in the Discord posted a YouTube video detailing this, but like it was just like the whole thing was like, hey, we're on Netflix, man. Look at this. We're on Netflix now. And it's like, yeah, I'm watching Netflix. I fucking know what channel. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and they spent most of the time just doing this needless like Hall of Fame ceremony type bullshit where you pull out all these geezers that it's like, is this how you're going to appeal to a new audience? Is show them a bunch of fucking geezers who can't even wrestle anymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah. Show new people, the 100 million new people, like, hey, check it out. We got Hulk Hogan. He's so shitty. He's getting booed by his own fans.
Can barely rip open his own probably pre-cut t-shirt.
Yeah.
You fucking loser.
It was, the main event was good, but outside of that, it was like just bad and very embarrassing.
Felt bad for Jimmy Hart, though.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just there sadly holding that American flag.
Yeah. Oh, well. I got to see the return of Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome. That was a highlight.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, when you were there, like, did anybody explain to you why Kenny Omega was fighting the guys he was fighting? Because I feel like that's very important in wrestling.
Well, it's important in some companies, but you and I know that AEW's got this casino gauntlet approach to booking where it's, just throw random guys out in the ring. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, it seems to be what works for them.
Oh, well. And then, I came back to my city on fire, my city in disarray. It was kind of weird because we got news of it, like, I don't know, within probably 18 hours of the time that we're going to be flying. And so we just spent that final day just kind of fretting about it. And then, when we got on the plane, the local, the flight crew was like a local crew from Tokyo, so I guess they didn't really care about it. And weirdly, it seemed like nobody on the plane really cared about it. And we all just spent, 10 hours or whatever in the sky, not thinking about it, and then landed kind of in the middle of all the chaos, got an Uber back and collected all the branches and debris from our backyard that we could, to try and clear some brush. And thankfully the smoke is lifted. So the fires weren't ultimately that close to me. The one in Altadena is the closest. It's about 10 miles away. So we're fine, but it's pretty wild there for a minute.
Yeah. Were you able to see the fires from the plane?
Yeah, we flew over the Palisades one. It was very smoky, so it was more of like a just kind of glowing cloud type situation for a lot of it. Less flames, more smoke.
Yeah, I mean, you live down there, so you may be used to this, but they're like wildfires are like pretty creepy when you see one. Like the last time or 2 times ago that we went to Joshua Tree, as we were driving back, Big Bear was on fire. Yeah. And so we could see that as we were driving past the mountains on the way home. And it's just like massive. Like it's like, I mean, it was mostly smoke what we saw, but we could see like the light from flames. And it's just like, yeah, it's like, just like your caveman brain is like, oh my God, we got to get out of here right now. Like this is scary.
I remember the first one that I saw was, shortly after I moved out here. Me and my roommate were going to Vegas, and there's that long straight stretch of, I think it's the 15, where you're just going through Mojave Desert and there's nothing on either side. You're just in the middle of this huge desert valley. And I remember a bunch of the Joshua trees out there and all the brush were ablaze, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a good section of this large valley, of Mojave Desert was just totally on fire. And my roommate who was driving was just completely nonchalant. He's like, oh yeah, it's a wildfire, big deal. I'm like, but it's right there. Like, and it felt like it could just come up at the road at any point, and it probably could have, you know?
Yeah. I think I saw one out there one time. It might have been a controlled burn because it wasn't like huge or anything. But yeah, it is weird just driving around and
when the desert's on fire. I mean, a forest, I guess you kind of expect a forest fire. Like that's a compound word that you hear, forest fire. But nobody's talking about desert fire. But it's a thing.
Yeah. And it's sad because those Joshua trees, they're really getting the short end of the stick these days. Like there's not many of them. Half of them are getting cut down for that new windmill farm.
Oh, really? I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, there's like a ton of them. Like right before they were declared an endangered species, like some company bought a huge swath of them just to cut them down to make wind farms. So they got grandfathered in right at the last minute, and now they're like making way to cut them all down. And there are like a lot of petitions and a lot of protesters to try to stop it, but I don't think it's gonna work. But yeah, they're endangered and they're going extinct, and yet we're gonna cut a shitload of them down for this quote unquote clean energy. Seems ironic, but
yeah, and they don't have a lot of habitat. So I almost feel like the thing we're gonna do here is like send some of these to Mars or something. Like let's get you out of the way of human threat, you know, and put you somewhere safe.
Yeah, we got to do something for them because they're weirdos.
Yeah. Can we find an island that has a climate that's well suited to Joshua trees, and we send a few out there to colonize? I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah. Got to do something because they're awesome, you know?
Yeah, they're so weird and twisty.
Yeah, they like fall down to the ground, like they bend over, and they're like all like spiny.
Sometimes at night, you know, when there's like a little bit of light and you're walking by one, it will look exactly like a man standing there, and it will freak you the fuck out. That ever happen to you?
Yeah, that happens from time to time, especially when you're like out, like Pappy and Harriet's, like I like to do. Like there's like a bunch like sporadically out there, and if it's like sundown, you only see, like if they're backlit, you can only see the silhouette of a 7 foot tall like muscular dude, it seems like.
Yeah, with really gnarled arms.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Who is this? No, it's just Joshua.
Yeah, I like those guys. They're fun.
Oh no, just guys being dudes?
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. That kind of applies, Kevin.
Well, I'm glad you had a fun trip. I'm sad that your town is on fire now that you're back.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, I guess. It is sad. Like, you know, Altadena is really cool, and Palisades it's all right too. You know, like I got no problem with the Palisades. So I hate to see, you know, anywhere burn, but especially LA. You know, you shouldn't be on fire.
I agree. Yeah. I don't know much about the west side of town. I haven't spent much time out there aside from going to Corngorn, but Pasadena is great. Like I feel like I'm on that east side, mostly because you live out there and because we go to Pasadena from time to time. I guess just the once, maybe, but for the Monster Palooza. But like that's definitely the better side of town, I feel like.
Yeah, and you know, Altadena is Pasadena adjacent. You know.
Yeah.
So it's in the
that's what I mean.
Dena
like,
region.
Yeah, that sort of area, I feel like is real nice. Pasadena, and then like what's on the other side of Altadena that's like Burbank, right? And Glendale. Like I like that area. Like it's just like a good area over there.
Monrovia is cool. We all like Monrovia a lot.
Monrovia. Is that where that mall is that we went to?
Well, that's Arcadia. It's nearby to Monrovia. Yeah.
Okay.
Arcadia is Altadena adjacent as well.
Okay, yeah. See, that whole part, that's my favorite part of LA. I'm going on record right now. Whatever part that is, I like it the most.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, I guess you would say West San Gabriel Valley is what I would call it.
Okay. That's what I'll call it too. It's my favorite. Now, what's your favorite?
My favorite part of Los Angeles?
Yeah, you got to go on record right now.
I got to pick one part of Los Angeles? I'm a Hollywood Boulevard boy, man. You know me.
Oh, that is a good point. Hollywood is pretty fun. They got Amoeba.
Yeah, between Highland
yeah.
and Vine on Hollywood Boulevard, where all the bad stuff is happening. That's my spot.
That's actually, yeah, that's a good spot. I got to see more of that. I got to go. I'm going to be there coming up, as I've mentioned to you. I got to see that observatory. I've never seen it. I got to go.
Oh, really? Okay.
Maybe we'll do that.
Do you like semi-awkward looking statues of James Dean in bronze?
I do.
Okay, well then I got a real treat for you up there.
Okay, I've been to his death place, so.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I can visit all the James Dean spots.
That's in between me and you.
Yeah, it's like up, in the middle of nowhere, sort of between here and the beach. That's when I see it, is when I go to the beach.
I'm sure that he's glad that he's, still having respects paid.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you paid respect. You didn't just like piss on his grave or nothing.
No, I said, okay. I recognize that Philip J. Fry is based on this guy, and so I respect him.
Oh, is that a thing?
Visually,
just the jacket.
The jacket and like the haircut, I think.
Okay.
Like the kind of,
Visually. He wasn't actually like a pizza boy.
Not
James
as far
Dean.
as I know.
Yeah.
No. But I haven't seen East of Eden, so I don't know what his character was like in that movie.
It could have been a pizza boy.
Might have been, yeah.
What was that, Luigi's? Is that the name of the pizzeria?
Panucci's Pizza.
Panucci's, okay.
It's something like that. It's with a P. I think it's
Anyways.
Panucci.
We all remember the guy.
Yeah. Well, all right. Do you want to hear some voicemails? We got a couple of these voicemails.
Let's get those pickled icemen on the blower.
That's a yes.
It's been a while since we've recorded. We didn't play any of the voicemails last week. I wanted to save them until you were back. We got a couple here. I believe this one is from a good friend of ours.
Live from New York, it's Mr. Brian.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian.
Junk food dinner. The junk food dinner episode or junk food supper. I believe it's a junk food dinner episode. Junk food dinner. What is up, my friends? Mr. Brian calling from the streets, New York. I believe this is the last show for the year. Just wanted to call in and wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, to whatever holiday anybody celebrates. I wish a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays, all that stuff to all the listening audience as well. Enjoy the holidays, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call, and love the show as always. All right? Be well, and talk to you in 2025. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Brian. You are talking to us in 2025.
Yeah.
The future is now.
I don't think he thought that would happen when he recorded that voicemail. I think he thought that we might play it in a timely fashion rather than withhold voicemails as has become your new prerogative.
Well, I think he sent it before the holidays even, so I think he just barely missed whenever our last show was, so there was no chance for that to be played in 2024. Maybe.
That's what you say.
I'd have to look at I'll look at the statistics, but yeah, despite the fact that I made this voicemail late, I'll take responsibility for it. Happy New Year and happy holidays to you as well, Mr. Brian.
Yeah, likewise. Actually, I think we should probably say to everyone, Happy Nude Year, because this is kind of a Happy Nude Year episode, as we'll get into later.
Oh, indeed it is. We got a whole Happy New Year month, it seems like, or at least a nice run, because Jackson's movie last week also had a lot of nudity. And, of course, we'll have a lot of nudity next week. A little too much nudity.
We'll be recording the episode in the nude.
That's true, yeah.
So look forward to that. Check our YouTube.
Mm-hmm. We got another voicemail. This is from our old buddy Tom. Let's see what he's up to.
Hey, junk food guys. It's Tom from Adelaide. Yeah, sorry, I've been incognito for a little while. It's just been like a super busy time. I work in liquor retail, and so yeah, you can imagine leading up to Christmas, it's just a bit of a head fuck. Yeah, it's cool. Just basically calling and saying, yeah, well, sorry for being out of contact. I hope you all are doing really, really well. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch a few films. I still haven't actually properly, or, I've watched a tiny little bit, but not the whole thing of The Substance. And I've heard that is really, really, really good. And I keep meaning to do it. Hope you all are doing really, really well. And, yeah, I guess I'll talk again sometime in more substance, if you will, sometime soon. Okay. You take care, and I hope you all have a really good time, and Happy New Year. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom, and Happy New Year to you. It's newer for us than you, because you're like a day in the future, which is super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Always
this
jealous.
New Year is old hat to him.
Yeah, he's over it. But yeah, you should definitely stay in contact with us. We'd love to hear from you. Also, my wife is trying to narrow down some kind of crazy vacation for us to go on. She keeps talking about Japan. She's also talking about Australia. Is Adelaide a good tourist town? Where should we go? What kind of food should we eat if we go there?
Which, side of the sidewalk should you walk on in Adelaide?
Yeah, these are the things we need to know.
My guess is whatever side you want. I feel like Australia is not imposing very many rules on pedestrians. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's like whichever side of the sidewalk has less spiders. That's the side you got to walk on there.
Yeah. Just follow the crocodiles,
Yeah. Maybe I'm too afraid to go to Australia. There's too many snakes there. Big birds and stuff.
Not to mention dingoes. Is it racist for me to mention dingoes? Maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Australia. I wouldn't think so. They're normal dog-like creatures. I wouldn't.
It is the stereotype, though, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
Whose fault is that?
That movie, whatever movie that.
Is it Dundee's fault?
I don't think. I think the dingo stealing your baby. I think that's from an old movie, maybe.
Yeah, what is that from? Because I feel like it's something that maybe we know from Simpsons or
Yeah, it's from Seinfeld.
Okay, from Seinfeld.
But I don't know what it's from before that. I think it's from an old movie, but maybe it's from a real thing. Maybe a dingo did steal a baby.
It seems like something a dingo would do, right?
They're real wily looking creeps.
You think Seinfeld was mining the headlines of local Australian newspapers? To come up with their scripts?
They might have been.
All right, well, I'm glad that they did.
Yeah, to explain that episode they did about the Opera House, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me as an American, but they just kept going on and on about that Sydney Opera House in that episode.
It's a pretty cool looking opera house, though.
It definitely is. But yeah, also The Substance. I agree, Tom. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson liked it.
People are talking about that Substance.
It's coming back to theaters, they say.
With some kind of dumb decolorized version or some crap like that?
I don't think. I think they're just kind of riding high on all the award wins, so they're just putting it back out to make a little bit more money. I think it's the normal version.
Okay.
So
should I feel bad about that movie now that I've learned that it fucked up Margaret Qualley's face?
I didn't know anything about that.
That was a big thing that came out today. She's talking on some podcast, and then every fucking movie website is republishing the same exact story that is just 2 sentences from a podcast she was on. But I guess it fucked up her face, the prosthetic.
Did she? Well,
maybe not permanently, but I guess she had bad acne for a year or something. I don't know. She was real butthurt about it. So I don't know. I feel like if she didn't enjoy the experience of making it, even retrospectively, that makes me a little bummed because I like that Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the response to something like that is, because I know that according to the internet, like we're not allowed to like The Shining anymore because Shelley Duvall was abused by Kubrick and like stuff like that. So I wonder if that kind of backlash will hit The Substance or not.
It might. It just might.
Well,
I mean, I enjoyed it despite knowing everything that I know about Dennis Quaid going into it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like I should be rock solid.
I think so. I still like The Shining. I'm going to be honest. I don't care how many people got mistreated to make that movie. I think it was worth it. I don't care. I don't care if that makes.
I like it a great deal.
I don't care if that makes me a villain. Who cares?
I like that kind of hustle.
Abuse more people. I don't care. You're making art. But that's
okay.
I guess that's all the voicemails we have.
Really?
Send us the voicemail
That's
if you want to
all
weigh
that
in.
we have? Just, what was it, 3?
Two voicemails.
You're holding out on me.
Do we have another?
I don't know. You tell me.
Let me look.
I don't think we do.
No, that's it.
It feels like it should be 3.
I agree. I can play like an old one. These go back.
Oh, okay. No.
Should we play one?
No. Let's not get into old. The day this podcast gets into playing old voicemails, I mean, come on. What's next? We're going to be looking through our yearbooks, trying to find out who was most likely to be 559.
That's a good point. But if you want to send us some voicemails out there, call 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865, or go to facebook.com/junkfooddinner and hit the call now button. Let us know if you think it's okay to hurt people to make good art. If you agree with me, that is. Also, let us know your top 5 movies of the year. Next week, we are meeting back up with Kevin, and we're going to do our top 5 movies of the year, and maybe our bottom 1 or 3 or 5 or something, as is tradition. So what were your favorite movies of the year? Let us know. We deeply need to know that. Because it was such a weird year for movies. I feel like everybody's going to have a different list. It'd be interesting to hear some of those. So let us know what's going on with you. We're going to take a quick break aside from that, and we are going to be back to talk about the movie Knockouts. So stick around. I just think it's okay to hurt people. I don't know. I don't know.
I like David Lynch.
Oh, that David Lynch. No one likes him.
I just hate him so much.
And you want to blow your brains out.
I just hate him so much. Nobody likes this crap. They're just pretending. I like David Lynch. Oh, look at me. I got the most out-of-print records you ever saw in your life.
Oh, that David Lynch. No one likes him. I mean, this movie's like garbage.
Garbage.
I mean, this movie's like
Garbage.
it could be Kyle MacLachlan. Like, he sucks. Objectively, he's like not a good actor.
You hear that, Sean Byron?
gotta beat that monkey.
What are we waiting for? Yeah, we got a few hundred calendars to sell.
I hope we find a printer.
Hey, well, if anybody can do it, we can do it.
Anybody
There we
would
go.
love
Don't
to
touch
have
my
me.
hand.
I like that spirit.
And then we can take the calendars to the bookstore at 9 a.m. and get the $2,000.
And we'll just make the 10 a.m. deadline. Looks like Sam's back in school.
Yeah!
All right.
May I see the work order?
Sure.
Last night, I had another Monica Bellucci dream. I was in Paris on a case. Monica called and asked me to meet her at a certain cafe. She said she needed to talk to me. When we met at the cafe, Cooper was there, but I couldn't see his face. Monica was very pleasant. She had brought friends. We all had a coffee. And then she said the ancient phrase.
We're like the dreamer. Dreams, and then lives inside the dream.
We are like the dreamer who dreams and then lives inside the dream. I told her I understood. And then she said, but who is the dreamer? A very powerful, uneasy feeling came over me. Monica looked past me and indicated to me to look back at something that was happening there. I turned and looked. I saw myself. I saw myself from long ago in the old Philadelphia office.
Want something to drink, Rob? No, thanks anyway. Hey, baby, are we gonna get ready, huh? Yeah. Sorry. I should have worn the white ones instead. No, well, I guess this one was all right. No sense in playing this silly game. Can't never hide what you feel inside. Camouflage, you can't hide your love from me. Camouflage, I can see through you so easily. Camouflage, don't you realize you got no disguise? Camouflage, I know. Love fool.
Happy Nude Year, and welcome back to Junk Food Supper. The movie that we're reviewing on the show this week is Knockouts, I guess you would say a titty picture from 1992, directed, of course, by none other than John T. Bone. And we all know John T. Bone, director of at least 229 feature films, mostly hardcore flicks like Jasmine's Last Gangbang, starring Howard Stern favorite Jasmine St. Clair. But he also directed things like Starship Intercourse. Of course, he directed Depraved Fantasies 4, The Undead. I'm sure that's a favorite among our listeners. He directed Gangbang Under the Mistletoe. He directed Butt Bangers Ball. We all remember that.
Mm-hmm. That was hosted by Matt Pinfield, if I remember.
Yeah, the actual Matt Pinfield, ironically, was doing double duty on Headbangers and Butt Bangers. He directed Granny Bangers. And his magnum opus, his final film in the year 2006, entitled simply Blowjobs. We all remember 2006's Blowjobs. and also, like, literally hundreds of other funny titles. Just go look at the dude's IMDb. It's kind of incredible. But he did this, and we're going to talk about it. So this thing starts off with a title sequence that features some very chill, soft jazz sort of music, the kind of music that you would find in pornos of this time period. Also just kind of sounds like the music that is passed off as vaporwave music these days. But I really like it. And it segs from this title sequence, it segs into a softcore babe modeling type scene. Before we pull away and we see the guy directing this softcore babe modeling type scene. And he's, like a struggling director type guy. He's got a buddy who's also like a struggling director type guy. And he ends up putting his foot in his mouth while talking to this softcore modeling babe. And she gets pissed off and she hops on her Harley Davidson right there in her lingerie and hits the road. And then right away that this is going to be a great movie, in my opinion, right from that moment when you got a buxom babe in full-on lingerie on a Harley. Agree or disagree with that statement, Bowman?
Yeah, I agree. That's always a good way to start things out.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good sign for the subsequent events to come. Which include her rolling on over on that Harley to a local Foxy Boxing gym, where all of the Foxy Boxing babes are having extended half-naked chats with each other, doing some light exercises, topless, these kinds of things. They mention at some point that they are college students and that this is part of their schooling. I guess that's important for boner reasons, I suppose, but they do want to make it very clear that these women, who all appear to be probably in their mid to late 30s at least, they're all college kids. But, I guess that makes sense. Anyhow, for reasons of plot, we end up following along with them to a strip poker game. And then after the strip poker game, we follow to a nudie calendar shoot that they organize with the porno director dudes as a quick way to raise a buck, because wouldn't you know it, they lost their shirts in the strip poker game, I guess you would say. That's the kind of joke that you would find in this movie. I don't think the movie actually went to the pains to say anything quite so clever as that, but it's kind of on that level. And this movie for a minute turns into kind of like a sequence of different schemes to raise money. I guess the bikini car wash fundraiser had already probably been organized by some other group of babes locally, so they don't go that route. But eventually, we get into this calendar shoot, and it kind of takes forever. I mean, I'm not really complaining, but a good stretch of the middle of this movie is just this kind of nudie calendar shoot stuff, and then some other crap happens. But then 53 minutes in, we've finally arrived at the premise that we've been sold via the poster and via the title of the movie, when they stumble on a flyer for a ladies kickboxing and wrestling challenge at the local arena, and it's going to be a potential way for them to make money because the best of 5 bouts wins $1,000. And coincidence, $1,000 is exactly the amount of money that they need. And the other amazing coincidence, well, this event is happening tonight. So perfect timing, right? Tonight of all nights, Bowman.
It's very convenient. It's, the way that everything comes together is screenwriting 101 done to perfection.
Yeah. And then this movie effectively turns into what I've always wanted, in my life at least, which is a movie version of the Foxy Boxing events that up until now I've only caught on, random TV channels late at night in European hotels. To be honest, it seems to be maybe the only thing that plays on TVs in European hotels is Foxy Boxing. But it's a lot of fun. They even hired a guy to do commentary who sounds very convincingly like the sort of semi-capable commentator that you would find late at night covering semi-sports on weird channels in the 1990s. It's kind of strange that the event includes boxing, kickboxing, and wrestling. But I think the variety is actually a smart move. Otherwise, it would get even more redundant than it already kind of admittedly is. So, smart to mix it up, I guess. And I think if I recall correctly, and I should recall because I watched this just a couple of hours ago, but I got to be honest, I don't remember. I think they win the money that they needed. I'm pretty sure one of the girls gets the $1,000 at the end and everybody's happy. And that's the movie. I had not heard of this movie until pretty recently. Around the time I was thinking of Happy Nude Year picks, this kind of fell into my lap by mistake. I was on Cinemageddon and I was searching for the word wrestling, not wrestling, but I searched for wrestling. I think I was looking for like Lance Russell documentaries or something, hoping that was a thing. But that's not a thing. But this was a thing, and it came up because somebody had put that word wrestling on it. And it seemed to me that this might actually sit perfectly halfway between the kinds of shit that I like to watch and the kinds of crap that Bowman likes to watch. And so, it felt like a decent enough pick. And I think I am pretty happy with this pick. It seems like a movie that is still relatively undiscovered. I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. But I think it's kind of cool and unique that this guy who predominantly made hardcore pornos was like, hey, let me make kind of a titty comedy with some of these, penthouse pets or whoever these women are. And he kind of pulls it off, despite being low budget. This movie actually does have a nice look to it, which I guess makes sense for a porno director. But there's a number of moments that I think would fit in nicely in that documentary, Los Angeles Plays Itself, where it's like you get these scenes that are very, I don't know, just kind of emblematic of the time and place. The house where they shoot a lot of this has some pretty cool background aesthetic. Like there's the most ridiculously large CRT television I think you'll ever see in your life in one of the living rooms or something in this house. And just like a lot of long ass hallways and weird looking like furniture from the 1990s that is very expensive but still looks very cheap. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I'm sure every review that this movie ever got probably says the same exact thing, which is it's just a thinly veiled excuse to have naked penthouse pets prance around on screen, with no clothes. But I think it also does give them a chance to kind of try their hands at acting, and I think the results are pretty charming. Overall, maybe the movie is a little bit poorly paced, but not in the way that you might expect. I think actually the stuff leading up to the climax of 30 minutes of Foxy Boxing, I think that stuff leading up is actually more interesting and fun maybe than the actual delivery of the Foxy Boxing. But it is good that they delivered on the premise, And I'm guessing they probably, had the poster for this movie completed before they even started shooting. So they might have had some pissed off investors if they didn't include that actual boxing and wrestling stuff at the end. And you'd probably have somebody like me complaining that they pulled a Henry Winkler, if I got all the way through this movie and nobody foxy boxed. So overall, I thought this was really fun. I mean, it's just dumb nonsense, but I think if you compare this to like a Jim Wynorski movie from the time period, I think it's got a lot of overlap appeal, but it's also kind of got its own sort of singular vibe to it, where it's like, it's not the same exact group of people that you usually see in these movies. And I don't know, it comes from sort of a slightly different temperament or approach to filmmaking that felt, I don't know, kind of cool and fun. So I think this is a movie that if you watch with friends or maybe at like a bad movie night or something like that at a cool theater, would be fun to goof on. But even as a solo watch, it's pretty breezy. But what did you think about Knockouts?
I think Knockouts is, I think you're absolutely right. This is sort of in that overlap, like that Venn diagram overlap of things I like and things you like, because you like a lot of those like Japanese movies where ladies wrestle and fight and stuff like that. And I like pretty much any movie where like people like where ladies get scantily clad in order to raise money for something like Bikini Drive-In or Bikini Car Wash Company. So this is right in there. And so I did have fun with this just because this is the kind of thing I like anything that would have been on, Cinemax at 1 a.m. or would have been on Up All Night. Like I'm just always going to like, even if it's a bad version of that. And I do think this is kind of a bad version of that. Like it's not like so over the top silly that it catches your eye. And also it's like a lot of the sexiness is like not really there, which is surprising for a guy who, or maybe not surprising coming from a guy who directed, 3,000 gangbang movies or whatever.
I had confidence that the eroticism would be delivered by the man that brought us Granny Bangers, but I guess that was my fault.
Yeah, like a lot of like the stuff that should be titillating here, like when they're like changing clothes and like working out, like, like that stuff should be like dynamic. Like the aforementioned Bikini Car Wash, it's like the ladies will get together to wash a car and like they start out in like normal clothes and like they're taking it off and they're like putting their hair down, and now all of a sudden like the soap is out and like they're getting soapy and like there's like an escalation and like the camera is put in places where it like looks sexy,
Yeah.
But here
it sounds like you're asking me whatever happened to the art of seduction.
Well, 100%. But like the camera in this, it's like clinical. Like the ladies will take off their clothes and like the camera is just like, there'll be like just a close up of like 3/4 of a breast.
It's more kind of like the way that nudity is used in comedies sometimes, where like, kind of feels like those big titties in Airplane, where it's like, we're just shooting a regular scene here. Yeah, there happens to be naked ladies popping in and out of frame all the time, but that's not the focus.
Yeah, that too. Like,
which is weird.
Yeah, some of those scenes, like when they're in the locker room talking, and like, yeah, it'll just be like a big wide shot, and you get like the whole locker room, and there's like 12 ladies in there, and like they're kind of like walking back and forth to and from the shower, just in various degrees of undress. But yeah, like not shot in any kind of like, like it's like almost, instead of having like the male gaze, it's almost like a documentary gaze or like security footage gaze. Like it's like very cold and like objective.
It almost feels like this guy is thinking in his mind, hey, maybe we can get a PG-13 rating if we just don't sexualize the nudity, right? We can have like 500 tits in this as long as like they don't get, nobody's squeezing the nips off them,
It does kind of feel that way, yeah. Like Like even like a movie like what's that one movie, that David Pryor movie where it's like people like Death Spa? The other one that's not Death Spa. Where like,
is it Killer Workout?
Killer Workout, yeah. It's like the ladies will be working out and like, you know, like the camera will pan across from lady to lady and like they're getting sweaty and like they're breathing in and out. And like here, there's nothing like that. Like ladies will be working out and it's like, you just kind of see them in the background working out, you know? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why this guy didn't want to make this more of a titillating TNA movie, but
there is also I believe exactly one sex scene in this, and it just kind of happens out of nowhere, where it's like two characters who I didn't even realize were sexually interested in each other. All of a sudden,
next thing you know, he's boning this chick.
Yeah, it's just like that, Kevin.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That scene obviously is not very sexy either. And it's like, it could be like over the top, you know, it's like, not to keep going back to it, but I mean, I think Bikini Car Wash Company 2 is like the greatest of these kind of movies. And it's like, you know, they'll like be real over the top with it, you know, and it's like, it's almost shot like an episode of like ECW or something where like the cameraman's walking back and forth and he's like walking over here and, you know, and it's like, there's like an energy to it. You know, zooming in and out really quick, shaking the camera around. And here there's just like kind of no energy and no silliness to it. And which is weird because like they kind of play like a lot of this straight. Like I think they're trying to be funny, but in like a, I don't know, kind of like a sitcom-y way, like not in like a over the top goofy TNA Porky's type of a way, which is maybe the comedy you kind of want from a movie like this, where it's like just over the top silly.
Yeah, I mean, the flip side is it's also kind of fun that it is so low key. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I kind of like the fact that they're just like, oh yeah, here's some tits for you. I hope they're big enough, you know.
I do like the scene where they're like playing like poker for like each other's panties and stuff like that. Like, and that's a very like low key, like just kind of a low energy scene that I think works, where like they're betting each other's panties and like they have to like they're cheating too. Like they have cards like in the panties they're wearing. And it's like very low key. It's like that definitely could have been like a very silly scene, you know, where like ladies just have like an entire deck of cards in their panties, but like, yeah, like they kind of like, it's very subdued. And I think it works there.
Yeah. Which leads to the moment where they lock that guy in the bathroom with handcuffs on two doorknobs, which I don't think that would really work. But also, what bathroom has double doors like that?
None that I've ever seen.
That's wild, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah, that house also, like, I think that's supposed to be their dorm, right? And it's like very clearly just like a house in Van Nuys or something. Like,
I couldn't tell at what point we were in what locations, because like there's the house that they're shooting the porno in, but then there's the dorm, but I think they were the same house probably, and they just shot everything in one place.
I think so, yeah. Which all that stuff also kind of makes it like very confusing at the beginning, because like it like took me a minute to realize what was even going on, like that these were college girls, like, and like the fact that like half of them hate each other, and like, you know, like the other, like one half hates the other half, like,
yeah,
that kind of made it seem like, well, why are these people even together? And then like,
well, the element of boxing is like mentioned once in passing real briefly, like 25 minutes into this, and then it doesn't come up again until the very end. But it's like, I think we're presumably supposed to know that these ladies are like, you know, trained in the way of martial arts or whatever, but it's not really what the movie's ever about until like suddenly that's now a factor again.
Yeah, which is weird because they work out for a lot of the movie, but like for many scenes, but like, yeah, there really could have been like some dropped lines like, we're working out because we're all, you know, professional fighters or whatever, but yeah, it's like, put
a Bruce Lee poster up in their bedroom, anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it doesn't make a ton of sense. And then, like you said, they get to the big fights, like with about 40 minutes left in the movie, which is like, bad, yeah, like you said, bad pacing. Like they could have maybe cut those up a little bit, like put some boxing in the middle maybe, and then some at the end, like 2 rounds of a tournament or something rather than all at the end. But I mean, that is fun, like watching these ladies fight. Like there's some fun moments in there. The fighting isn't great. Like this movie reminded me of another movie that we did on the show called it's called American Angels Baptism by Fire or something, about like ladies who wear bikinis and wrestle. It was directed by Ferd, what's his name? But I don't know. But like that's a movie where like the wrestling is like actually like kind of good at the end. So like the fact that it's like a titty movie with like somewhat reasonable like glow level style wrestling like really works out. And here it's like that. I don't know. It's like fun and silly to watch, but it's not very athletic.
Yeah, it's not 40 minutes fun.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. One of the ladies, though, I don't know which one she played. Her name is Cindy Rome. She, in addition to being in Knockouts, she was in Foxy Food Fight from 1987, Foxy Boxing from 1986, Summer Games, where she played Boxer, and Battling Beauties. So I guess she made a career out of Foxy Boxing movies, which is like pretty interesting. I don't know. I mean, I assume that she probably maybe was just a Foxy Boxer in real life.
What, do you specialize in porn?
I mean, maybe so. But I'm definitely interested in finding some of those movies, because anybody who's been in 5 Foxy Boxing movies is an actor I need to be following, I guess, in life.
You got a runtime on that Foxy Food Fight? How long could that be?
That is 62 minutes.
That's a long food fight. You have to assume there's multiple bouts included.
I would think so. Nightclub bikini wrestling and food. A salad, spaghetti noodles, it says parenthetically. Shot before a live audience and hosted by Garrett Adkins. Filmed at the legendary Whiskey A Go-Go.
Okay, that's a legendary place. But it's a salad made out of spaghetti noodles? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it says a salad, spaghetti noodles. So maybe there are different fights with different foods.
Okay, yeah. If you graduate past the salad round, the finals are in noodles. That makes sense. I guess, that's traditionally how it's done, right?
Yeah. I'm going to have to find out more about this. I'm going to check Cinemageddon after this. But yeah, I mean, this is fine. I think there's a lot more. There's like many movies. Like if you're going to watch a TNA movie like this, a silly TNA movie, there's a lot of better options. But also, if you're like me, who has seen every Jim Wynorski movie and like every Rhonda Shear episode of Up All Night, like, and you still haven't seen this one, then you probably should check it out, because it's. It's a finite genre. They don't make movies like this.
Yeah, and grading on the curve of like, this is one that you've never heard of, right? And I don't think anybody's ever talking about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not bad. I don't know. Pretty good for a porno guy. Spent, most of his life doing close-ups of cum shots or whatever. Like, hey, you got people on camera delivering a story, and it, most of the time made kind of sense.
Yeah, more or less sense.
Yeah. Plus, he cast that one guy that had the cool Ramones t-shirt in that one scene. I know you liked that, and I know you clocked that, right?
Yeah, that's like the first guy we ever see in the movie, I think. It's like you see a couple of ladies, and the guy walks into the room, and he's wearing that Ramones shirt.
Yeah, so that was cool. I will say there are a lot of instances in this movie where it's very clear that we've got an old man writing dialogue for young women. There's a scene in this where a guy says to one of the ladies, "Hey, wait a minute, I've got an idea." And her response is, "Well, it better be a Whopper." And she says it like fully earnestly. And that's definitely something that nobody after 1959 ever said. So we caught you, old man writer Daniel Benton.
Mm-hmm. Busted.
Yeah, I see here on IMDb that you were born in 1952, which I guess would make you 40 years old. Younger than me, but still a grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
I think she also in that scene asks the guy, "Who taught you to drive, Godzilla?" Which is kind of a funny line, but she mumbled it so bad I had to rewind like 11 times to make out what she said. But it's fun. It's funny, because she had just been knocked off her motorcycle by this driver who apparently was Godzilla trained.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a fine joke. I also didn't catch it. I heard her say something about Godzilla, but I didn't get the entire joke. So I'm glad that you caught the whole thing.
Well, she was frazzled from just being knocked off her Harley in her lingerie, You would be too if that happened to you.
Well, that's true. I agree. It's a fear of mine for sure.
I do want to call out the Joker who wrote this IMDb plot summary, but not by name because you don't deserve the credit, buddy. You said in your plot description that the reason for the whole, pursuit of cash throughout the entire movie is that the girls need to make some money to keep their boyfriends. I don't know where that came from, dude. I don't even think these girls have boyfriends. Maybe you watched a different cut of this movie than I did, but I'm pretty sure it's because they lost their shirts gambling.
Yeah. I don't remember there being any boyfriends at all.
No, it's about tuition money. We all know that about knockouts.
Yeah, that's the main plot of the classic story of knockouts, tuition money.
Yeah, so get your fucking story straight, IMDb plot summary guy.
What a dickhead.
But yeah, I thought this was fun. I'm glad that we watched it. And I think if you're out there and you like 1990s titty movies, you'll have a good time with this. It's not going to be your favorite movie, but I think you'll have some fun. Kind of got some roller games vibes, actually.
Yeah, definitely fits into that whole spectrum of like late 80s, early 90s like thing where like people were athletic and scantily clad. Like roller games is like on the athletic, less sexy side, and then this is like somewhere in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
But next week we're meeting up with Kevin to talk about some movies. But after that, we're going to be back here. We're going to be discussing movies, Sean.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you a choice between two things. The first, like that episode's going to come out on January 31st or possibly February 1st. So we're going to be right in the middle of like Happy Nude Year and Sci-Fi February. So you got two choices that coincide with either one of them. The first one is a movie called Save Me from 1994. It's an erotic thriller, sort of fits into Happy Nude Year. There's a lot of nudity in it. And it's a movie I've seen before. Mainly why I think it would be fun, outside of it being an erotic thriller for Happy Nude Year, is that most of it was filmed in and around Pacific Palisades in Santa Monica.
Oh.
So it could be timely to talk about. But if you want to get your mind off of fires and off of boobies, I guess, as well, there's a science fiction movie we could do instead that is directed by a director you like. It's a movie you have not seen, but I don't want to spoil. I won't tell you the name of it because if you don't pick it, I'm putting it back in the hat and we're going to do it at some point. But it's a director you like and you haven't seen it. So maybe that's intriguing to you. So those are the two choices: erotic thriller set in the place that's on fire, or sci-fi movie by a director you like, you have not seen.
Man, it was such a layup for you, Bowman. You got the perfect opportunity. You're bridging the gap between Happy Nude Year and Sci-Fi February, and yet you refuse to pick Flesh Gordon, even though Mr. Brian from New York insists that you pick it.
No, he wants to do Flash Gordon, the normal.
No, that's his New York accent.
No, he doesn't want the sexy one. He wants the normal one.
It's that famous New York accent. People say Flash sounds like flesh. and vice versa.
That's true. We'll do that. This is the year for that. 2025, we're doing Flash Gordon for sure. Two things are going to happen in 2025.
I think we already did it with Kevin.
Flash Gordon?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah, you guys did that. You did the first one. There's two Flash Gordons, though. I wasn't on that episode, so I missed that movie, sadly.
Okay, well, maybe we should do it.
Well, that's a good point. But yeah, so that's one of the things we're going to do is Flash Gordon this year.
I'm picking the titty movie, by the way. Whichever of the two has the most tits. That's what we're picking.
All right. Well, that would be Save Me. I'll put the other one away. I think you're going to like that one, but we'll do it. So I won't spoil what it is. But Save Me is available on MGM Plus and Fubo at the moment. I don't even know what Fubo is. It's also on. It's out. It's on the internet. I'm sure you can find it. It's like pretty easy on the stealing websites. It's directed by Alan Roberts, by the way, who did a movie called Karate Cop. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Okay, I don't think I know Karate Cop.
Okay, it's also got a good cast. We got Harry Hamlin in this movie, Michael Ironside, Kato Kalin, Olivia Hussey, R.I.P., Steve Railsback. A lot of people in this, so I think this might be good for you. I think you might like this one.
Okay,
and we can talk about all the places that were filmed and kept for all history that may not be there anymore.
It's going to be emotional.
I think it might be. Well, maybe not for me. I've never been to Pacific Palisades, but maybe for you. I don't know.
If they show a shot of Moon Shadows restaurant, you might hear the tears streaming down my face, Bowman.
That's the place that's like on the water, right?
Yeah, it's one of the water places that burned down. All the water places burned down.
That's a real shame. I've never even been to that water. I would love to go to all those places, but now they're all gone.
Yeah, you missed it.
Well, at least I can see it through this titty movie called Save Me.
Yeah, and that's why we've got films, right? That's why filmmaking is the great American art form, because we're able to preserve all of the water places that burn down.
That is true. There's definitely some scenes in this that are supposed to make your penis hard.
Oh, that too. I look forward to that.
Yeah, that is definitely the case in this movie, from what I remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
All right, well, I guess that is, I believe, all that there is to say then this week.
Well, also next week, here are the movies we're doing.
Oh, okay, yeah. People like to hear that.
Yeah, let me discuss those. We're doing 800 Fantasy Lane.
Oh my God.
A pornographic film. We're doing Pink Cut, Love Me Hard, Love Me Deep.
Oh my God.
Probably a pornographic film. And we're doing Let My Puppets Come, which is a change.
Oh my God.
We were originally going to do the Captain America porno movie, but the ratio to like the porn to story ratio was just off. I can't do it. We got to do Let My Puppets Come instead. So those are the three movies that we're doing with Kevin next week. So watch those beforehand.
Or watch them during. Maybe watch them after. I don't know. Just watch them.
Yeah, that is a good point. Time is a flat circle. You can watch them at any point.
I can't believe we haven't done Let My Puppets Come. I thought that was something we did like day one when we invented this podcast together.
We've been talking about it since then. I feel like it was really early on that like Mark told me about that movie. And then I was like, I'm doing that movie soon. I'm doing it.
You might have talked about it on the show back in the early days.
Yeah, I think, probably. I think it was like a thing for a while because I had no idea what it was. And I'm pretty sure it was Mark who told me that it existed. And I was just like, it's coming. And then it just never came. So, pun intended. Pun not intended.
Baba boom.
Was the pun intended? The pun was intended.
I think it was intended.
Yeah, so those puppets will finally come.
Let your puns come.
Exactly. So that'll be an erotic episode.
Yeah. And, again, as I mentioned before, We will be podcasting in the nude, so we encourage our listeners to also join in. Take off your clothes when you listen, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, while you're listening, if you want to play around with your cock and nuts, there's no law against that. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on if you're commuting at the time. I mean, I guess if you're in your own vehicle, is that a crime? Can you crank it on the freeway?
That's a good question. I would imagine no, but also, I mean, maybe, depending on like what kind of tint you have on your windows, maybe.
Well, be careful with that tint. I think that might get you in more trouble in California than any kind of public cranking.
That's a good point, yeah.
These cops down here hate that window tint. They can't tell what color your skin is, you know? So they gotta remove that so they know who to pull over.
Yeah, it gets in the way of its obstruction of quote-unquote justice.
Yeah, of their racial profiling.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have that. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Take off your window tint, jerk it on the freeway, and we'll see you next time. In between now and then, do all the things. Go to junkfooddinner.com. Go to facebook.com/junkfooddinner. That's where you'll find a handy-dandy call now button that you can use to call the show. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we do urge you to call the show this week so that you can deliver a message to Kevin Moss. We won't hold those ones back. We're not pulling a Bowman, as the kids say. We're not going to stash these voicemails away. We will play them for Kevin next week. And hopefully you can tell us what some of your favorite movies were of 2024. If you don't have 5, that's okay. Just give us what you got. And we'll listen to it and we'll enjoy it. And we hope that you enjoy hearing our top 5 lists.
Tonight, fans of the 90s show Twin Peaks and its more recent reboot are mourning the loss of creator David Lynch, who died at the age of 78. The director spent part of his childhood in the Northwest and returned to use the small city of North Bend in Washington as a backdrop for Twin Peaks. Today at Tweed's Cafe, best known, of course, as the Double R Diner, fans and workers reflected on Lynch's unique style. Decades after the original show aired in 1990, folks still flock to the counter seats and comfortable booths for a slice of cherry pie, maybe a conversation, and a sense of nostalgia. For diner owners Max Spears, Lynch's impact is really immeasurable.
David Lynch is regarded as one of the greatest directors of all time and one of the best American artists of the 20th century. I think especially there's a lot of hope that maybe there would be more to the Twin Peaks story. And with David Lynch's death, I think that saga sort of ends officially.
Each year, North Bend also hosts Twin Peaks Fest for 3 days in February. It often includes screenings of the show and Q&As with actors. The owls are not what they seem, right? Remember that line? One organizer says it will continue as planned this year, but of course will have a more somber tone.
You can have intellectual understanding, you can go to film classes, you can see other films, but there's nothing like getting in there and doing it yourself. Making mistakes, but learning from those and shooting again and experimenting. It's just beautiful.
Hey gang, it's Parker from the future, aka the present. Well, actually, maybe the past by the time you listen to this. Anyway, we recorded an entire thing about what movie we would be doing next time we got together for the junk food supper. And then, mere hours later, the news came out that our boy David Lynch died. Sad news, the saddest of nerd news. So instead of whatever it is that we picked while actually recording the show, after the show we decided that we would do a David Lynch movie. We've done most David Lynch things on the show because this is the #1 David Lynch podcast on the internet. But we have not done The Cowboy and the Frenchman. Is that the name of it, or is it The Frenchman and the Cowboy? Either way, it's a short film that David Lynch did. The guy from The Avengers is in it. It's on YouTube. You guys can watch it. I think it's only like half an hour long. But that's what we're going to be doing in 2 weeks when we reconvene for the junk food supper. We'll be honoring our man, David Lynch, who had, of course, his own modus operandi. So okay, here. Now that I've broken in, I'll throw it back to me and Sean in real time on the actual recording.
But until then, this is your friend, Sen Biro, your other friend, Perky Beantown Bowman, saying, keep washing them dishes.
Hell yeah.
We'll be right back.
3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, M, K. 3, 4, 7, 7, 4, 6, J, U, M, K.
You're always asking these fake questions.
Call the gab line. It's a party line.
16 years of fake questions.
Call now. It's a party line. Call now.
Yeah, I don't find it interesting at all.
3, 4, 7, 7, 7, 6, J, U, M, K.
I like those guys.
The penis Parker.
I like it a great deal.